Watch closely.
To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die.
Dear Benjamin, I finally created something new. Forgive me.
His beauty met me like a fresh wind blowing, eyes that told secrets, lips that would not tell them.
Where there are prophecies, they will fail. Where there are tongues, they will cease. Where there is knowledge, it will vanish.
Fearless and shy, the young unwearied eye.
How long was he like that? Answer the question.
Did you suffer?
Yes.
Life must go on. Though good men die.
I want to go with the one I love. I do not want to calculate the cost. I do not want to think about whether it's good.
My mother groaned, my father wept. Into the dangerous world I leapt.
When I think of poetry, one of the people I think of is this man. He is an actor, he is a writer, he is a producer, a teacher, and I've known him for a while now. And he never ages. I think he's a vampire. No. Hunter Lee Hughes. Hello.
Oh my goodness, David, so wonderful to see you.
Oh, you too. You too. It's been a while.
It's been a while, and I can't, when you said it's been a while since we met, it's been, yeah, let's not admit the number, but it's a long time.
I know. Wasn't it for the pilot for Showtime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still remember that. I remember that audition. I remember feeling really good about it. And it was, well, and again, I'm going to date myself with these details, but it was like, you know, I had a cell phone. I got a call in my car. It was my agent and manager on the phone at the same time to tell me that I got this job, that I'd auditioned for David Zimmerman and gotten this job. And it was just such a thrilling moment, you know, so you gave me that thrilling moment early on in my career, and it was a lot of fun. It was a good show, right? I was sad that it didn't end up going further, but it was fun to shoot, fun to do.
Well, you gave me that thrilling moment. You nailed it. It was like, boom, you know?
Wow.
It was good. It was very good. I remember that as well. Yeah. And you know, you have a certain quality about yourself. You're different than other actors, which is great. You have a certain quality about your acting that you have those subtle levels, but they're just like, there's so much going on with you. And there was something different, especially at that day. So it was great. It was great. And then from that, we went on to like be friends.
Yes, and we worked together quite a lot. You know, we worked together on Winner Takes All, and then we worked together on a little web series that we did, and you had a cameo, I remember.
A little cameo.
And
I even forgot that I had a cameo in that.
But you helped us cast it too, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and then I remember the thrill when we did that short film Winner Takes All, and getting Alec Mapa for it. Remember?
That was fun.
How thrilling was that to like get, you know?
Yeah, that was good. I mean, all of your projects are like, I mean, you don't just do projects for project's sake. You do art. I mean, you create art with your work.
I try hard, I'll tell you that. You know, I'll try hard, and I put my heart into it, and it's, whenever I do something, it's important to me, and I give it my all, and I'm doing it for an important reason. I don't know if everything I've done has risen to that level. Sometimes I feel better or worse about the finished product, but I commit. I go for it, you know, and it's important to me.
Yeah. And you teach?
Yeah, I used to teach more, but I feel like, you know, this era, I'm more focused on doing new work than teaching. I think this COVID really,
Yeah.
changed some things. So
Yeah. It does. It does, and it did. And I have so much to talk to you about, but I know, and no buts, and I know that you have your group with you today.
yes.
Your people that you create with.
Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. Like here we are in the pandemic, right?
Mm.
And just before everything shut down, maybe 2-3 weeks, I pitched an idea for a new indie film to my team. And they said, yes, let's make it. Let's do it this summer. Let's shoot.
Right.
And that was about 2 weeks before just the world changed, with the pandemic.
Yeah.
And so then we were like, well, I feel like I'm still feeling this new movie so much, I'm feeling it like this is the right thing to do. So then we decided, well, in the meantime, let's build a show where we're showing everybody step by step how we're developing the movie, how we're putting it together. Right. And so even we feel like documenting that part of the process will be empowering and helpful to other people who maybe want to go out there and make movies for themselves. So, that's what we're doing.
Well, I have to say, let's bring them on. Let's bring everybody on and talk about your creations and connections and all of that. We have Daniel Berilla. We have the wonderful, let's see, Yuki Sagara.
Well done.
Yeah, and Jason Daks. Hello.
Where is everybody?
That's what I'm saying. I want to see everybody. Oh, there we go.
Oh, can you see everybody?
Yeah, I can see everyone. Yay!
You look beautiful.
Thanks. I'm stuck in the bedroom. They're doing a garage and there's so much noise. I've put myself in my bedroom today. So hi.
Hi. I know I've been in my bedroom all day too, but.
David, nice to meet you.
Yes, you too. I saw I saw the video online about all of you. It's great.
Oh, thank
you.
The creation that how did you all meet? How did you all meet?
Hunter, you go ahead.
Hunter, you want to say it or no? I don't know.
Well, I met Hunter through Guys Reading Poems, basically. I knew one of the producers and they needed a minute of people coming down to help film one day. And then Hunter and I just kind of became friends. And then I also studied when he was teaching at Story Atlas, because he was doing this thing on death, dying, and some, I don't know, it was so in my wheelhouse of people dying and all the discomfort. So, and then we've been friends ever since.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, Yuki is one of the reporters in Guys Reading Poems. So if we show a little moment of her from the in the Meet the Team episode,
Yeah.
a little clip of her in that.
By the way, that film was amazing. I mean, it really was. I mean, it like I said before, Hunter, everything you touch is like it's art. It's a piece of artwork, and you took so much care with that, and so much. It was a combination of so many different people, but it was your own creation. I could see a little David Lynch, a little of this and that, but it was ultimately Hunter Lee Hughes,
Thank you so much. I mean, I feel like it was one of those projects that it felt kind of meant to be. I don't know, sometimes you feel that way about a project. And then I'm like, where are all these amazing people coming from to help me, like Alexander Drayman came through and Patricia Velasquez, and we got this amazing cinematographer, Michael Marius Passa, and just now I'm afraid I'm gonna have to say this whole crew because they were so amazing. You know what I mean? Like nobody feel left out. Daniel Berilla. But it really did feel like, somehow that there was like a momentum and the universe got behind it. And I felt very lucky and blessed to be able to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So how about you, Daniel? When did you really first connect with Hunter?
Well, that's pretty simple. I was a dog walker for Golden Globe winner Sally Kirkland, and he lives right next to her. So I was just walking the dog one day, and Hunter and I just struck up a conversation, and we've been friends ever since. So that's almost been, I don't know, almost 10 years or so, 9 years, something like that. It's been a very long time. He's one of my first people I've met, and I've worked with him in a bunch of different projects. Guys Reading Poems was awesome. It was amazing. I helped along with that film. And another little series that he did called Dumbass Filmmakers.
Right.
Yeah, that's how I know him. So, and we've just been working together, and I love working with him. I love his, like you said, he has a thing about him that everything he touches, it turns into magic. He's a really good storyteller. And you definitely want to surround yourself with good storytellers in a world where so many stories could be told. And he has great perspective and different ways on how to do that. So I really enjoy just being around him and working with him.
Yeah, I could see it. There's an energy about this group. You could see that it's like, yeah, let's do this, and everybody working together for a common cause, you know? Yes. How about you, Jason?
So I met Hunter in actually Daniel too, and really got to know Daniel later on. I met Hunter in 2016 at the Dance with Film Festival at the Chinese Theater. I had a short film there called The Boy Who Cried Fish. Is actually in the lead character was a child with autism. So it dealt with a child with autism and the Egyptian Revolution. And yeah, I'm happy to share the short with you. It's not available online yet. I don't know why, but it's not available online yet. But we actually took home. We were the best runner-up, and so I connected with Hunter there, and we just kept in contact. And then kept on meeting. He had this movie that he wanted to do, and then we eventually made it into a play, which I don't know if you know about it or not. Nathaniel Quinn, filmmaker. Hunter directed it at the end of 2018. Daniel was in it. Yuki was in it. Everyone was in it. I was on the side, but
doing a great job.
Yeah,
he's being modest. He produced the play.
Oh, there you go. Wow.
Yeah, so it's a great group, and just to piggyback off what Daniel was saying, Hunter is super creative, and that's the energy that I strive to be around. So I'm super excited to be a part of this project too.
Now, are you all actors?
I am.
I don't know what I am. I have no idea. I don't know. I love the working behind the scenes aspects. I think just as much as the in camera. I moved out here for in camera or in front of camera. And David, I've known you for a very long time as well.
Yeah.
And so that life back then was going for acting, but I really enjoy, probably because of Hunter, just getting the experience to see what goes on behind the scenes and really to delve into that made me really curious on that side of it too. So I don't know. I don't know what I am. I'm just a 31-year-old gay guy in LA trying to make a living and doing whatever I can to survive. So,
yeah, but I'm looking at what you do, and I know what you do about you're so good at raising funds, and you're such a people person. You get people out there and interested in projects. I mean, you have that charisma about you to do that. And it seems like you enjoy doing that.
I do, and thank you for that. That's really nice. I do enjoy it, and I think Hunter sees that in me, which is why I kind of do the more behind the scenes, because it's a challenge. This whole process has been a very long journey from the moment that we did the play on McCadden or whatever. Like, how many years ago, Hunter, was it? Like 7, something like that.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were in that. That was 2013, and then
was that the version, the stage version of Guys?
No, that was this reincarnation movie that I was trying to get off the ground, and I tried to get it off. I talk about it in this series where it's like sometimes you just have that project that won't quit you. That you just want to get it to the finish line, yeah. And I was trying to get it off the ground in 2013. And then Guys Reading Poems got momentum, and it got momentum fast. But then, David, it took me 5 years of my life to finish that movie, Yeah. So then finally I got finished with that movie, and I was still trying to get this other movie off the ground. It just wasn't happening. And so then we made it into a play, and that's when Jason and Daniel and, we we made a play version of it, and then I subsequently kept trying to get it made as a movie. But eventually I had to let that one go, and now we're making a different movie, because sometimes, actually Yuki was a big part of helping me see that sometimes part of your process as a filmmaker, as a creative person, is sometimes you have to let go of things, even though it's hard, you know? And so that's what I did. I let go of it.
You know, Yuki, you seem, I mean, from what I saw online too, you're so spiritual, and you bring the sort of a calmness to it, yet a calm honesty. Is that possible?
Well, generally I can be calm, but in the video that's about to drop or drop today, you will see that I can also be very fiery and not so calm. That's definitely in there as well.
It's the passion.
I want to say, well, for me, just in terms of being a creative person, I mean, I also do some energy work and stuff like that. I feel very much there is a flow to trying to get things done. And as much as you keep trying to get things out there and out there and out there, you have to have a minute for things to grow and for things to settle. And we're so much in this part of the world, like instant gratification. We want it right now. And it's like, it doesn't really work that way. And it's okay for it to take time. And in taking the time, things can happen, which is why I was pushing 100, because I thought you're doing so much into it. And if it's not happening, it just needs a minute, because there's nowhere for it to land, because you're putting out all the time. So it has to have that. I'm an actor as well, but I will always be an actor. It's part of who I am as a person. So whether I'm actually working or not ever again is yet to be seen, but I will always say that I am. But I also have done other parts. I've done some casting. I've been behind the camera. I've been all that kind of stuff. And so I can bring, I'm good at the big picture of stuff and sort of looking at things and saying, I think now is the moment. Let's just wait and see. And let's just look for moments where the universe might be giving you ideas to do something else in this time. And it's okay to sort of shift focus. And then Hunter came and he said, oh my God, I have a new idea for this thing, which I also think is so current for right now, that, and that's all I'm saying about it. But I think it's a good example of flowing and letting it happen. What? he's like, do I like that? Do I think
no,
that?
I just love that, the flowing and let it happen. I just let it sink in a bit. Hear that, class? Flow and let it happen. Yeah. No, it's interesting too. Just for a second, I'll bring up, because this last month, I finally just took the plunge and produced a short film for a disability film challenge.
Yes, it's so cute.
Oh, you saw it?
Yes,
Honey.
they're so pooky.
And it was really, I was talking to everyone yesterday for a group Zoom, and I just started tearing up, because it's such a family. And it was, all of a sudden, it was like, we came together, we had a certain amount to do it, we did it, it's now out there. And it was like, it was one of the highlights at this moment. It was one of the highlights of my life, just to go out there and do it. And, but I related to what you were saying about sometimes you have to take, quote, that breath. And then sometimes when you're ready, it's like, it happens. So, and Jason, I saw that you really know a lot about distribution as well.
I mean, I know what I know.
Distribution, producing.
Yeah, I'm mostly on the producing side. Like, I have interest definitely in acting and whatnot, but my primary focus is producing, and then like securing distribution. I've worked a little bit as a producer's rep, but for the most part, it's more on the producing side. Like if friends or people I know are looking for like distribution for a film, I might know a bunch of like different avenues. We have another member of our crew, which he really is like, a strong sales agent. I don't know if he's a producer's rep, but like in distribution expert, Daniel Bort. But I definitely understand that area too. But I don't attend the markets the way that he does. But if you need need to break down your script, you need to budget it, and you need to make sure you have all the elements in there to make sure that you have a crew of 30 people. You got to have food for for 30 people. It's important.
And you got to feed your cast, right? And crew.
Yes, yes, that is true. To know the cast, they can fend for themselves. They can bring their own lunch, but no
seeds. Grow some corn.
What's funny is that I guess it's a side anecdote. I guess I'll tell it. I was actually working on a film, and I was production coordinating, and there was a crew member that had a severe nut allergy, but they didn't bring their own lunch, which to me was kind of crazy. But I was super careful, and like every time I would go to a restaurant, I was actually picking up the food. We didn't have a caterer. I was like grilling them. I'm like, you give me this food and you're telling me there's no nuts in it, you someone's life is on the line here, but I'm proud to say that person lived through production and they're okay.
Thank God.
Yay.
So you all are now creating this amazing project.
That's right. That's
yes.
right.
Yes.
And at this moment, I just finished the second draft of the script. So it's a little bit more on me now, but it's about to go from me to everybody. Does that make sense? And they're giving me feedback and they're giving me notes, but pretty soon it's gonna be a lot more people involved doing it. You know what I mean?
How long did it take you to write this script?
Well, not that long actually. I came up with the idea in, I want to say, February, and I pitched it to them. I wrote a treatment, and then I had the first draft of the script. I want to say May 1st is when I had the first draft of the script written.
Nice.
And then my efforts shifted into kind of, because we decided to do this show in tandem with the movie, right? So then that was a lot of effort, as you know, from the editing and getting all the footage and everything else, introducing everybody. So, and really taking the time to track our own progress and our own meetings, it adds all this extra time, right? So then it slowed down a little bit, and I finished the second draft of the script August 1st. And so everybody here has recently, read the script or is in the process of reading, the new script. And in the meantime, we did some legwork on it, but pretty soon it's going to be hitting out that schedule, the budget, getting the money, and going.
In connection to scripts, how many scripts do you think you've written?
Screenplays?
Yeah.
Probably about 6 or 7, I want to say. 6 or 7 that got completed.
Because I heard it's good, for those writers out there who are writing, it's always good to have those screenplays on hand in case somebody says, hey, I like this. Do you have any more? This is what I've heard.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's also just, this may be the 7th script I've written, but the 6th script that I wrote was guys reading poems, and that was the first one that got produced. So it's also kind of that, you hope the first one out there makes it and does it, but in my case that wasn't the case, right? I had to write a bunch of scripts before I got one that took off. So it's sort of like you just have to keep creating and keep going, and I don't know, I have the full wisdom on it, but it's a lot of work that and that's why even when it meant so much to me to take that script that I'd been working on for 8 years and to create a play version, because it felt like, well, to honor the work that you've done and to be flexible and to let it have some kind of outlet and teach you something. Sometimes you need things like that. So I encourage people to, if you can't get your whole screenplay produced, raise the whole budget, maybe go out and shoot one scene, because maybe that will give you something on the inside and a sample, to show people and a feeling of like it reached a more complete stage. So I do, that's something I think about now,
Oh, I like that. It is like taking that next step.
Yeah. And it can be small, right? It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be, it's a word on a page, or I've sold a spec script for 6 figures.
Right.
You know, those are the only 2 options, then that's going to be tough, you know?
Right. Do you have a title yet, or are we can't say it?
Okay, I'm not gonna say what the original title was.
Okay.
Okay. But because we have him on, I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. I had an original title, and you know, that's one of the things people are critical about Guys Reading Poems. Like, I like the movie, but I'm not sure about the title. You know, I like right. So I said the original title, which I don't want to give away.
Yeah.
But then Daniel Berilla, who's on the call right now, said, Hunter, I think you should call it 3 Days. And that's the title, 3 Days.
And it clicked.
It felt right.
It clicked.
I love that. This is why this group is so good, because it's all about collaboration and understanding and going with the flow.
Because it takes place over 3 days. That's not a spoiler alert, right, Hunter?
Well, but isn't that great that you know, you can, it's like Daniel came up with that in like 30 seconds, and it was so much better than the original title that I'd had. And it's just like, that's why you need a good team around you, you know? And all of a sudden, like 3 days, it makes sense.
I also want to give kudos to Hunter, because he's very good at taking in suggestions and critiques and listening to it. Because if you have a great team around you that you don't utilize, then you're still beating yourself against a brick wall. So as leader for something, when you're making things and moving forward, you want to be open to where inspiration and insight can come, and be able to sort of leave your ego behind and go, oh, that's a great idea, let's do that, versus saying, oh, well, no, I didn't think of it, it's not going to be mine, or stuff like that. There's an openness to it, and Hunter's really, really great for that. So he's very easy to work with in a collaborative team effort kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, I remember too, I mean, years ago, Hunter, you came with Martin to a Meet the Biz workshop.
Oh, yes.
And that was, I'm so glad you did that. And thank you and Mardik, who is no longer with us.
Gosh, you made me emotional when I didn't expect it. But yeah, Mardik passed away September 11th last year. And I had seen him within a week before he passed away. And you know, it was great to spend time with him near the end of his life. And he really contributed a lot. You know, not only did he co-write some of those fantastic films, but, you know, how many students did he shape? And from Amy Heckerling to, you know, right on down, you know, and I was part of that, you know, part of that group of people that got influenced by him, and he taught, and he was just, if he knew something about screenwriting, he would just tell it to you.
Right.
He didn't need to be paid for it even. You know, if he was having a conversation, he didn't withhold the secrets that he learned about screenwriting. He gave them. Now, he was cantankerous. He was a character. There were other things about him that were sometimes a challenge.
Was he a raging bull?
I don't know. He not a bull. Yeah. He was
and I said that because
he didn't. I remember what's coming to mind right now is the story of how Mardik talked Martin Scorsese into making Raging Bull, because, you know, Martin Scorsese was not a boxing fan, and he did not want to make a movie about boxing. You know, he just heard boxing and turned off.
Yeah.
And the way Mardik tells the story is that he's like, no, Marty, this is gladiators, and they take the swings, and all the rich people are sitting in the front row, and the blood from the rings, and it goes on the fur coat of the rich lady in the front row. And Martin Scorsese said, I'll read your draft. And they made the movie. So, you know, it's like, he had energy. Even talking about him, I feel more energetic. He had more energy than I do. At 80, he had more energy. You know, he just had energy. And Yuki, you know about that, right? You know, and so
Yes.
sometimes when a person has that much energy,
Yeah.
it doesn't always come out clean and pretty, I guess. But he had, you know, my friend Moira described him as a heart on two legs, and that's really true.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
It's interesting when we talk about those people who have passed, like Marduk or my friend Corey. I sort of feel sometimes it's like, wait a minute, is that him over your shoulder?
I swear to God, I feel that a little bit too at times. And who knows what it is? Is it something within us that's coming up, or is it their presence is there? But I knew it was cool to have the chance to work for Marduk. I worked for him for 5 years, David. That was my job. You know, $20 an hour he paid me to basically learn the craft of screenwriting from him, you know?
Yeah.
And I knew it was cool. But, you know, when you're at the funeral, when you're seeing these people and you're like, wow, I was so lucky. I was so blessed. Imagine that. He spent 5 years of his life hanging out with me. And I was like, wow.
It was a blessing both ways, you know?
I think so. I think I brought him some good too.
David, I love that you said that. I love that you just said what you said, and that it's a blessing both ways. I think that's one of the most important things to take away for people, especially when you're in this town, when you can work with people that have so much bigger careers or movie stars or produce or like massive hugeness of whatever. It's easy to feel like you're not worth anything, or you don't belong, or you've got nothing to give. But you never know what you're contributing to somebody else and what they're taking from it. I mean, in the 5 years that Hunter spent with him, I'm sure Hunter worked his ass off and the guy got a lot, or it wouldn't have continued for as long as it did. And so, especially when you're starting out and, oh, you're just the actor and you have no credits or you're trying or whatever, you can think I'm worth nothing and they treat you like crap on sets and all this kind of stuff. It's like, no, you have to be able to understand that as you offer yourself out, you don't know how it's going to affect anybody, and that you belong there, or you wouldn't be there in the first place. And I think I love that you said, and you reminded Hunter of that in that moment in the way that you did that. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I always, for me, I find myself constantly growing and changing and going, oh, that's why that happened, or this is, oh, okay. And it's the same moment, but as time goes by, I look at it a different way, or it shifts, or so.
You want to know something tender about Marduk that I've never told publicly? So I'll let this be for your thing. He didn't have kids, Marduk. And one day, you know, when I'm at his apartment, and I'd worked for him maybe 4 years at that time, he said, Hunter, I know you're gay, but if you have a son and you make his middle name Marduk, I'll pay you $10,000.
So you're trying to have a son now.
Anyway.
That's good. That's cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I have a few, I just thought of these different questions. So I'm going to throw one out. One of you grab it, and then I'll throw another one out to somebody else, kind of thing. Okay, this is for someone. Name one word to describe you and why.
Optimistic.
Yes? Why optimistic?
I believe you have to live life with optimism, whether something bad or good is happening. It's like if you always look at the brighter side of things, then things will always be better than you expect. And it's kept me going on my track here for 12 years now by myself. I've always been optimistic towards the future. I'm very afraid. I never know what's going to be happening, but I just know it's always going to work out in some type of way. I just can't see it yet. So I'm always just optimistic. And that's my character, my archetype on this project that we're doing with Hunter on YouTube and whatnot. So
I love that.
That's mine.
I love that. I want to go like that.
It's funny when you said it, because I thought of my like archetype that that Hunter said as well. I'm the the fixer. Having said that, I do feel like there's a optimism that comes with that comes with fixing, whether whether there is a problem. I always try to come to every every stop sign or roadblock with like how can we move past this, that there, whether it's not always negative things that you have to fix, like how are we going to choose between this great actor and this great actor, what's the benefit and the outcome, and try to look at it like the decision that we make that's the best decision, because that's the one we're moving towards, and we got to put everything behind it. Like when Hunter says to me, Jason, I'm this is what I'm feeling about page whatever 44, or I'm like, and I give Hunter creative notes, but I also respect that, like, when Hunter has a feeling about his project, a change that he needs to make, or something that has to be a certain way, and I'm like, well, that's the way it's gonna be, unless it like costs too much money or something like that. But that's in that,
like a true producer.
in that case, like I'm right. But I try to look at, I guess, I try to look at the fixing on through a lens of optimism as well too, because if you can't really look at it the other way.
Nice. What about define creativity for you?
For me, or for anybody?
Anyone.
I'll let Hunter can take it away.
Or Yuki.
Okay, I'm gonna go because to me, creativity is like, it's actualizing divine inspiration, which I know sounds like out there and woo-woo and all this kind of stuff, but I really feel like when you're creating something, you're tapping into this whole other, it's not just you in a box, there's another thing coming in, and if you can open up to what that is, you can put things out into the world uniquely through who you are, but it's coming through a different channel of something, and so the creativity is the physical manifestation of that and what it is, but there's an otherworldly cosmic sort of part that comes into it, and it can be the smallest thing that you're working on, you know what I mean, like, but even when precision, and so much of creative process is about doing and repetitiveness and stuff like that, and even in doing that you can find that spark. Like Thomas More, the sculptor, the marble sculptor, he always said, I'm just releasing it from the stone. I don't do it. It's nothing. It's you know what I mean? You're tapping into something else and you're giving it a voice, and it's coming in through you because you can hear it the best for what it wants in this moment. There. Everyone's shaking their heads. Okay, it's fine.
No, shaking their heads in a good way.
I feel like you're just talking about
yeah,
the energy that comes with it.
Yeah. Very nice. Thank you. The next one was, what are you most proud of?
I think I'm most proud of guys reading poems. I'm going to go with that creative project. It was gosh, I thought I'd been in the business enough to know what it is to make a feature film, but it was harder and more complicated and tougher than I thought. And that's not nothing, David. 5 years of your life. I mean, sometimes we get 75, 80, 85, 90, that 5 years is a lot as percentage wise of your whole thing.
Oh yeah.
And I just remember that the movie was distributed by Gravitas Ventures, and so I drove down there with a hard drive, right? And to drop it off And, you know, they were really nice. Obviously, and I left it there, and I left the building, and I was just like, it felt like I'll never be the same, because at least this one thing that I was supposed to do with my life got done, you know? And that was a really satisfying feeling. And I wanted that feeling again, but it took a lot to get there. You know what I'm saying? But it's one of those, it feels like people can like it, people can not like it, whatever happens with it, but it did get done. And it feels like nobody can take that away, you know? So there you go. That's my answer.
Good.
I'm just taking you all in. What great stuff. I'm just like, I just tell you, this feeds me doing this, and I learn so much from doing these, and from learning, taking this all in from you. I feel how it is such a wonderful collaboration that you're all working together. And we could see you have a show every week, or what is it?
It's 3 times a week, David. So we have 3 episodes a week. And it's on the Fate Link, youtube.com/FateLink. So if you look up Fate Link on YouTube, and it just shows the whole process of making a movie, from getting the team together to developing the characters, the research, the screenwriting, to, like I said, now we're going to move into the scheduling and the budgeting and that sort of thing. So we're just going to track the whole thing, because I'm hoping that some of your students, some of people out there, they want to know, okay, they may be more interested in how we do it than our movie. Do you know what I mean? Because that can help them do their own movie. And so that's part of the hope, is that we're just opening up our creative process and saying, hey, this is how we're doing it. Take what you like and leave the rest, you know?
This is wonderful. Well, thank you all for sharing this. This is going to help a lot of people, especially at this time when this is the time to be creative. This is the time to let it out and allow it to happen.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
That's what you're all doing. Thank you.
Trying to.
Thank you so much, David.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you for having us.